Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Engineering Exploration course project video of Keele Technological University, Hubballi. I am Varshita from team number 6 along with my teammates Meghana, Harsh, Sinchana and Saurav. We, the first year students of Keele Tech, have the course called Engineering Exploration. In this, we are working on a project called Cannonbot under the guidance of Nandish sir. Thank you.
Problem definition. Our problem definition is to design a semi-automatic robotic arm which is user-friendly and portable. It should be rigid, stable, and should hit the striker at the target. The budget of making this semi-automatic robotic arm is Rs 4000 and it should work continuously for 3 hours. The device should hit one carom point at a time. It should be controlled remotely by the user and it should strike at a particular impact force. It should control the angle of the arm to strike the coin and it should also be able to slide over one side of the board.
Next slide is function tree and function clustering. We have identified three functions: movement, rotation, striking. Under movement, the board should move linearly along the end of the board. Rotation, the arm should rotate from 0 degree to 180 degree and vice versa. Striking, it should hit the coin to the target by particular force. This is function clustering. This is under movement, rotation and striking. We have identified subsystem. Identified subsystems are movement unit, rotation unit, striking unit. The next slide is about concepts. We have generated 5 concepts. The finalized concept is we have finalized this concept. Its movement is through wheels using DC motor. Rotation of arm is through stepper motor and hitting the striker is through DC motor. From here, virtual implementation.
Hello everyone. So this is our 3D model. It consists of 3 subsystems all represented by different colors. Now let me start explaining each subsystem to you one by one. The first subsystem being the striking part represented by yellow. The striking part consists of a DC motor, a frame and a striking blade. Now the width of the frame right here is 3.6 cm, which is approximately 0.3 cm more than the diameter of the striker, so that striker could fit right here and it also prevent it from going left or right. Now this frame also sits about 0.4 cm above the carom board surface, which prevents it from damaging the surface of the carom board and also hold the striker and prevent it from escaping through the gap between surface of the carom board and the frame, because the distance between surface of carom board and the frame is 0.4 centimeter and the height of the striker is approximately 1 centimeter. Now finally this blade right here strikes the striker with the impact force produced by the DC motor right here. Now the second subsystem is the rotational subsystem represented by color red. Now this rotational subsystem contains a frame and a stepper motor. Now this frame also provides housing space for Arduino kit and Bluetooth module. It also connects the movement subsystem and the striking subsystem together. This stepper motor right here controls the rotation of the striking part from 0 to 180 degrees so that the striking angle can be controlled. Now let us move to the final subsystem, which is the movement subsystem represented by purple right here. The movement subsystem contains a frame, two wheels and two DC motor. The distance between these two wheels is approximately 5 cm, which is approximately equal to the width of the carom frame, so that the carom frame can be tightly sandwiched between these two wheels somewhat like this. As you can see, these wheels tightly sandwich carom frame, which allows them to move from one end of the frame to the other, from right to left and from left to right. Now this allows to take the entire system to the desired place so that it can strike the striker at a desired location. Also, the movement subsystem and the rotation subsystem is joined together by this L clamp. Thank you.
Now we will see the circuit diagram. This is the circuit diagram of the entire system. We have used Arduino, keypad, breadboard, 9-volt battery, 4 DC motors and relays. Here, first and second DC motor is used in movement of wheels in forward direction and backward direction. Third DC motor is used to adjust the angle of the arm from 0 degree to 180 degree and vice versa. Fourth DC motor is used to strike the coin at particular force. We have connected the required pins here. Keypad is used to give the required instructions like start, stop, etc.
Hello everyone, next we'll see the flowchart of the entire system. So this is the start and this is the read user interface through Bluetooth model, and if you press the rotation of the wheel then it will read the DC motor, that is the 2 DC motor code, and the DC motor gets turned on. So basically the two wheels get started. So if you press the rotation of the arm then it will read the stepper motor. In this rotation of the arm, if you press this thing, that is if its striking direction is towards left forward hole, then the movement of the stepper motor will be clockwise, and then it will rotate and hit the DC motor, hit the striker, that is it will read the DC motor and DC motor gets turned on. Basically this DC motor is to hit the striker to the target, and if we press this thing, that is if its striking direction is towards right forward hole, then the movement of the stepper motor will be anti-clockwise and it will read the DC motor and DC motor gets turned on. Basically it will rotate, that is the arm rotate, and then it will hit the striker. Then this is stop. So this was the flowchart. Next we'll see the bill of materials required for the entire system. So basically there were total 12 materials required for this model. The first one was the striking frame, and the material required was the acrylic sheet. Basically in our model we have used acrylic sheet only. So this was a specification, and the quantity required was 1, and the fabrication process needed was cutting and bending. Next one is the striking blade, and the material for this also is acrylic sheet, and this was the specification of this part, and the quantity required is 1, and the fabrication process required was cutting. Next one is the housing of microcontroller. Basically this is the casing part of the circuit. So for that also we had used acrylic sheet, and this was the specification. Quantity required was 1, and the fabrication process was null. Next we'll see the motors required for a model. First one is a stepper motor, and the quantity required was 1. So basically stepper motor was required to rotate the arm of the bot. Next is the DC motors. So the specification of this part was 600 rpm. We needed 2 DC motors of 600 rpm and 1 DC motor of 300 rpm. 2 for the wheels and 1 for hitting the striker. So quantity required was 3, and this is null. Next one is a microcontroller, that is Arduino Mega. This was the specification of that, and the quantity required was 1. Next, wheels we required 2. Next, nut and bolts made up of cast iron, we required 10. Next is the Bluetooth model. This was the material, and specification of this part was, this is the specification of that Bluetooth model, and the quantity required was 1. Next one is the holding frame, that is the material required was of acrylic sheet, and this was the specification, and the fabrication process needed was cutting. Next is the L clamp. The material of L clamp was aluminum metal, This is basically to join two functions together, and the quantity required was 2, and next one is the two-way relay channels. So this was these were required 3 basically to connect the DC motors to the Arduino board. So this was the bill of materials. Next we'll see the motor sizing and battery sizing of the entire system. Battery sizing is we needed on 12-volt adapter, and motor sizing. First we'll see the masses. So we have divided masses M1, M2 and M3 according to the functions. That is, first one is a moment function. So M1 is equals to density into volume. All we know mass is equals to density into volume. So M1 is equals to D into V, where D is the density of the acrylic sheet. So this is fixed 1.1 gram per meter cube, and V is the volume of the subsystem. So according to the calculation, we got V as 62.5 centimeter cube. Hence M1 was density into volume. Density is 1.19 into 62.5. We got as 74.375. Next function is for casing. That is M2 is equals to D into V. V is equals to 42.5 centimeter cube. This was the calculation. Hence M2 required was 100.575 gram. Next function is the striking part. That is M3. Again the same formula applies here also. So volume which we required was 162.5 centimeter cube. So this was the calculation. Hence M3 is 263.375 gram. So the total torque required for the movement of the wheel is T is equals to total mass into diameter of the wheel divided by 2 into 1.5, that is factor of safety. Therefore torque we got was 1.643 kg centimeter. According to the table, it was 60 rpm we required for the movement of the wheel. Then next one was the hitting the striker. In this case the total torque required was 0.35 according to this calculations, and according to table we required 300 rpm. Basically this was for the 60 rpm was for the wheels, and 300 rpm was for the hitting the striker to the target. Therefore by the calculation, 60 rpm DC motor is required for the wheels to rotate, and 300 rpm DC motor is required for the striker. So next we'll see the functional specifications of the entire system. So we had totally identified 5 functions. The first one was the movement of the wheels. So its specification was wheel should move linearly with 60 rpm along 47.5 centimeter long carom board. Basically it should move linearly around the board. Next function we had identified was rotation of the arm. The specification was simple: arm should rotate to the required angle between 0 to 180 degree using stepper motor to hit the striker. Next one was the holding the carom board. So basically the carom board should be sandwiched between 2 wheels. We had used 2 wheels, one above the carom board and one below the carom board, so that it gets the grip. Next one, fourth function was the hit the striker. So using DC motor of 300 rpm, the flipper should hit the striker. Next one was the hold the entire system. That is, specification was using L clamp, entire system is held perfectly. Basically L clamp is the one which connects 2 functions together. So L clamp was another function required. This was the functional specification. So next we'll see the simulation part of a model. So as you all can see, this is the Thinkercad website. So in this website we have created the circuit. So this is our circuit. So before simulating, we'll see the code of it. So this is the code for the keypad what we have used. So we have used 2 rows and 3 columns. Next is the void setup. In this void setup, we have initialized the required pin modes of Arduino board. So there are total 8 pins. In the void loop, we have took one character variable as key. So if key 1 is pressed, then the two DC motors will run simultaneously in the opposite direction. So basically these two DC motors will run simultaneously. So these two are the wheels of a model. If key 2 is pressed, then the direction of those two DC motors changes. That is, the direction of these two DC motors changes. That is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Then if key 3 is pressed, then this is used for the rotation of the arm. Then if key 4 is pressed, then it is used to hit the striker with high RPM. Then if key 5 is pressed, then the working conditions of all the DC motor stops. And this is a serial monitor, and here which key is pressed is displayed. So we'll start the simulation. So if key 1 is pressed, so you all can see here that key 1 is pressed. So now these two are working. This one is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction and this one is rotating in the clockwise direction. Then if key 2 is pressed, so you all can see here that key 2 is pressed. Now the direction of these two DC motor changes. Now this is rotating in the clockwise direction and this one is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with low RPM. So basically these two are the wheels of a model. Then if key 3 is pressed, now this one is rotating. Basically this is the one to rotate the arm of the bot. So I'll press it once again. Just observe this. So this one is used to rotate the arm of the bot. Then if key 4 is pressed, this one is used to hit the striker with high RPM. Well, I'll press once again. Just observe this motor. You all can see that it rotates for a second. Then if key 5 is pressed, then the DC motor working stops. So as you all can see, these all motors are of 0 RPM now. So this was the simulation part. Thank you. Lastly, we would like to thank all our mentors who have helped and guided us in this project. Nandish sir, Preeti ma'am, Sanjeev sir, Rajeshwari ma'am, and the whole exploration faculty. Thank you.